Let's get it. Barbers. Is this thing on? Is this thing live? Let me know. Barbers. I see we got a couple comments. Welcome to this live class where I'm going to talk to you guys about some different things that you could do to get more reach on your content so more people can see what you're up to, so you can get more views, more engagement. I know y'all want to go viral, so I'm going to share with you guys some of the frameworks and strategies that have been working for me, and hopefully they can work for you. So VIP Phase said, yo, I've been waiting since 5:30. Oh, that's funny. Let's get it popping. Let's get it. I've been slacking on this class. So this class right here is we're going to dive into talking about some of the frameworks I use to go viral. So this is not my whole interactive social media course that I do, guys. All right, let me be very clear. This is part of it, right? Like, this is some of the stuff we talk about, but it's not the whole class. It's just a class that I put together called How to Go Viral, where I'm going to talk about some frameworks to get you more reach and views and all of that good stuff on your content. For High Fades, what up? My guy, Marvy Marv, appreciate you. Nicholas, what's up? Walker, what's going on? Galaxy Kid, what's going on? All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Why do you want to go viral? Why do you want to go viral? Let me hear what you guys got to say in the chat. I DM'd you weeks ago. I was supposed to get it then. Yo, let's get it tonight. You can make it happen tonight. Listen, guys, I do a whole interactive social media course. That's what Blended Barber is talking about. And stick around for this hour-long class, because at the end, I'm going to make you guys an offer so that you guys can join the class. And just so you know, I'm not going to be saving this up on my YouTube, but I will be saving this and uploading it to my interactive social media course program. So for those of you that are tapped in, that are watching this and engaging live, that are in the course, you'll be able to access this replay when I upload it. All right. So when we're talking about why do you want to go viral, to get more clients, I need more clients, more exposure. I need them clients. Clients are needed. Great. Man, I wish this could be like a long class, because then I can really go into it and explain the different strategies that you're going to need to really use this social media thing for marketing and to build your business and clientele. But again, we're going to talk about ways to go viral to get more reach, because that is a piece of the process. All right. Fahad says, I want to go viral to build a following and convert to an engaged audience. Absolutely. Nate, what's going on? What's up? All right, bet. So let's talk a little bit about it. So who am I to talk about going viral? Now, clearly you guys are here because you know who I am, so I don't really need to give you guys this long backstory and explain to you everything I've done over the course of my career in this barber industry. I mean, if you really want to know, hit me up and I'll let you know. But I've done a lot, right? I've done a lot in the industry. But when it comes to going viral, man, I've been crushing it on social media, especially over the last couple years. In fact, let me show you some of these TikTok numbers real quick. On TikTok, this video right here, 2.8 million views. All right, you see 46, 51, 200,000, 550,000, 865,000, 9.8 million there, 2.7 million here, 1.7 million here, over 600,000 there, 1.8 million there, 7.6 million there, 783,000 over there, 400,000 here, 1.8 million here, right? 731. I said that right, or did I not? 200,000. So I think that I know a little bit about what I'm doing, right? Because here's the thing. You can get 1 million views once, and we can agree that that could happen by stroke of luck, right? Even twice, you get lucky. But at a certain point, bro, when you see your man Marvy Marv putting up numbers like 2.8 million, 9.8 million, 7.6 million, 1.8 million, 1.7 million, when you're seeing these numbers just off of these few screenshots, there's strategy involved. There's a process involved. There's a science and the art that's involved. And clearly, these frameworks are working, or else I wouldn't be able to duplicate this in the way that I've been able to duplicate it, right? I think we can agree on that. And this is just from TikTok. This is not showing some of the viral videos that I have on Instagram that also have these same numbers. So I show you this just to help you guys understand that what you're going to learn in this class are frameworks that I use that actually do work. And what's funny about it is after you hear me share a lot of the gems that I'm going to share tonight, when you start to look around at my content and everybody else's content that you see go viral, you're going to start to see these frameworks in use. So I hope you guys have got your pen and your pads ready and you're prepared to take notes. Again, this class is a live class. I'm not going to be saving it on my YouTube for you to rewatch. So make sure you stick around this whole time because if you tap out, you're going to miss. You could miss something super valuable. And again, you're not going to be able to rewatch it unless you are in my social media course, because I am going to upload this to my social media course. All right. So I want to show you this. All right. How many of you guys have ever heard the story of Roger Bannister? Let me know in the chat. So for most of human history, it was believed that no human could run a 4-minute mile. All right. In fact, scientists actually believed that if we were to try to attempt to do it and even got close to doing it, what would happen is our heart would literally explode. They believed that it was physically impossible for a human being to run a 4-minute mile, right? Then this dude, Roger Bannister, came along. My man Roger came, and guess what he did? He broke the 4-minute mile, sent the world in a frenzy. All right, this is back in like the 50s or something like that, right? I forget the exact date, right? Broke the 4-minute mile, set the world in a frenzy. Roger Bannister is the man, right? But here's the craziest part about it. Something like 41 days after he broke the 4-minute mile, guess what else happened, bro? Somebody else was able to run a 4-minute mile. Now, again, remember, for pretty much all of human history, nobody had ever ran a 4-minute mile. Your man Roger Bannister comes along, does it 41 days later, just 41 days later, somebody else does it, right? And since then, we've had a few thousand people run a 4-minute mile, okay? So what does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with you, all right? Well, let me ask you something first. What changed? Right? What changed? From pretty much all of human history, nobody was able to run a 4-minute mile. Roger does it, and then just 41 days later, somebody else does it. I think his name was John Landy, right? Fact check me if you need to. Right? What changed? The only thing that changed was the belief that it was possible. Right? Roger believed it was possible. He didn't need to see the evidence that it could happen. He just believed it too in his spirit, in his heart. Right? He believed it could be done, and he did it. But then after he did it, this dude, John Landy, he did it, and just 41 days later, he does it too. What changed? The belief that it was possible. And again, today, we've had thousands of people do it. And the reason why we've had thousands of people do it is because they've seen so many other people do it, so now they believe it's possible, right? So again, what does this have to do with you? Guys, I show you this type of stuff, right, where I'm showing you 2.8 million, 9.8 million, 7.6 million, 1.8 million, all of these numbers that you see on the screen, right? And I show you guys this so that I can be Roger Bannister to you. I can show you what's possible. And because I can show you what's possible, my hope after you guys get off of this class is that you too believe it's possible for you, and you make the same thing happen in the same way that John Landy and the other thousands of people have been able to break the 4-minute mile. Does that make sense? It all starts with belief, though. You guys got to believe you guys can do this too. All right. I was in your shoes at one point where I didn't know what the hell I was doing with social media. I was confused. I was trying to grow. I ain't know what I was doing either. Right. But I learned, I practiced. I got a lot of experience over time. I attended classes like this, in-person classes, signed up for courses online, did mentorships, asked a lot of classes, asked a lot of questions in classes, and I've learned over the years through a lot of trial and error and from other people's mistakes and from the frameworks they use, right? So if I can do it, you can do it. And a lot of people are always saying, Marv, bro, you a genius with this stuff. The truth is, bro, I'm simply a practitioner. Success leaves clues. Okay? And there's people that have traveled this path before me that have had success, that understand the science behind all of this, understand what works and what doesn't. And all I do is do my best to learn from those people and then put into practice what they preach. So I say all that because you guys are going to learn a lot tonight. All right? You're going to learn a lot tonight, but it's going to be ultimately up to you guys to do the work. You have to put it to practice. All right? You're the one that has to do the work. I'm going to give you frameworks that work. I'm going to give you strategies. I'm going to give you tips and tricks to help you guys reach more people, but it's going to be up to you to implement this stuff. All right? It's not going to work if you don't work. But if you work, it will work. Does this make sense? If you guys are keeping up with me, if you guys are following me, let me know in the chat. Send me some emojis or something so I know you guys are still engaged and paying attention. All right? Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I skipped by this little apple pie shop, right? And the point of me sharing this is because I want to help you guys. I want to share an analogy with you to hopefully help you wrap your mind around what we're doing here tonight, all right? Because ultimately what I want to do is teach you how to bake a really good apple pie, right? Now think about it. If I was going to teach you how to bake a really good apple pie, what would I need to do? I would need to give you the ingredients. I would need to give you the recipe. I would need to give you the instructions, right? But then ultimately it's going to be up to you to go get the ingredients that you need. Up to you to follow the instructions and follow the recipe, right? And as long as you do, guess what's going to happen? Your pie might not be as good as mine at first, but if you follow the instructions and the recipe to the T, guess what's going to happen? You're still going to be able to bake a really good apple pie. Okay? So when it comes to social media tonight, I'm going to give you some ingredients. I'm going to give you a recipe. I'm going to give you some instructions. It's going to be on you to follow them. Okay? And another reason I show you this apple pie is because I want you guys to understand something, all right? When it comes to social media, there are going to be people that love what you do, and there are going to be people that can't stand what you do and hate what you do. Okay? And what I want you to understand is this. If we're talking about creating and baking a really good apple pie, no matter how good you bake that pie, you could follow my recipe to the T, add your own ingredients, make it so good, make it delicious. It could be the best apple pie in the whole history of the world in apple pies. But even with that being so, guess what? There's still going to be a lot of people in the world that don't like apple pie. All right? So when it comes to your content and the content that you want to put out to the world, what you have to understand is no matter how good you get at it, there are going to be people that don't like it. Okay? That's okay. You can go on my page and you'll see there are people that love my content, love a post I put up. Literally on the same post, a couple comments down or right below a positive comment, there's somebody that says they don't like my content. And the same thing is going to happen for you. But what I want you to keep in mind is you got to remember who you're creating your content for. You're creating your content for the people that find value in your content. You're not creating content for the people that don't like it. You're not trying to change their mind into liking your content if they don't. You're just simply creating content for the people that like your content. In the same way, you bake apple pies for people that like apple pies. You wouldn't sit there and try to convince somebody that hates apple pie that your apple pie tastes good. They don't like apple pie. No matter how good you bake it and make it, they're never going to like it. So why would you even bother wasting time trying to convince them to like your apple pie when they don't like apple pie? All right. So keep that in mind when it comes to your content. And just like you, I love apple pies too. Apple pie is smack. What's your favorite pie? Let me know in the chat. BARBERS. All right. So again, it's up to you guys to do the work. Truthfully, you have to understand, man, if you want to be in the 1%, you have to do what 99% of people won't do. You understand? You have to do what 99% of people won't do if you want to be in the 1%. And 99% of the people that are trying to grow on social media are not going to be consistent. Not consistently. Right? If you want to be extraordinary, you just have to be extra when it comes to the ordinary things. You just got to do a little bit more than most people, and you'll be able to do more than most people. So I'm going to share a bunch of game. You already are probably getting a lot of game, but I'm going to share even more. But again, remember, it's going to be on you to do the work. Now, just to answer this question real quick, do you simply ignore those negative comments, or you delete them or block them? All the above. There are going to be times where you just simply ignore them. There are going to be times when you delete them. And there are going to be times when you just block people, bro. And then there are going to be times when you have a little back and forth, or you have some fun with it. I get in my moods where I like having fun with it. But for the most part, I ignore them. If it gets too disrespectful or it's very hateful and negative, I'll just delete it and then block them. So it's all of the above. But all in all, what I want you to keep in mind is you have to remember you are making content for the people that enjoy your content. I appreciate you tapping in from Lancaster. Welcome to the live. All right, so let's get into some of the game. Y'all ready for the game? Drop the gem emojis in the chat. Let me know you're still rocking with me and you're engaging with me. All right, how to go viral. And as you can see, this is an acronym. All right, the V stands for something, the I stands for something, the R stands for something, the A stands for something, the L stands for something. All right, but before we get into that, let me let you guys know a handful of the apps that I love to use. All right, again, make sure you're taking notes. These are the apps I use to create content. All right, and I'm Team iPhone. I don't know about you, Team iPhone all day. So whenever I'm sharing recommendations, it's for the iPhone. So here's the apps I use. I use the TikTok editor directly, Instagram editor directly. I use CapCut. I use an app called Captions. I love this one. Captions is fire. I use Vru. I use BARBERS, InShot, and Canva. Okay, these are the apps that I use to create my content. All right, you guys got it? Now, I use TikTok and Instagram and CapCut and Captions and Vru and InShot for video editing. And I use BARBERS and Canva for my photo editing. I also use Instagram for photo editing as well. The carousels I've been posting, you guys see the carousels I've been posting? Those are the things where you can swipe and read the story. I'm making those directly in Instagram. Okay, these are the apps I use to create content. All right. Here's a list of computer apps that I use, because as you can see, I'm on my laptop right now, right? So I also have some computer apps that I use too. Final Cut Pro, CapCut, Descript, and ChatGPT. For my camera, I use a Canon M50. And what I want to point out when it comes to the camera, because a lot of you guys be thinking, well, Marv, which camera should I get? Should I get the Sony? Should I get the Canon? Should I get the Nikon? At the end of the day, the most important thing that you guys got to remember is the lens is what you guys are trying to recreate. When you see some of the looks I'm creating, it's because of the lens I'm using, right? Here's one of the lenses I have on my Canon right now. It's a 16 millimeter lens. I have a 18 to 35 millimeter. I have a 50 millimeter. I have a 70 to 200. I have a whole bunch of different lenses. The lens is what you guys are looking to create most of the time when you guys see people putting out content with their camera. So when you ask somebody what camera they use, the most important question you need to ask them is what lens are you using? Because that's what's creating that look you guys are looking for. Does that make sense? Okay, one thing I'll point out when it comes to these apps right here, TikTok's free, Instagram's free, CapCut's free, Captions is free. These are all free apps, all right? However, they also offer premium versions. I always will recommend you pay for the premium version, so that way you can unlock all of the features of CapCut, of Captions, of Rue, Bazaar, InShot, Canva. Pay for the subscription. Now, back in the day, I would tell you guys to pay the yearly because you get the biggest savings that way. For example, it might be, let's say, $5 a month, but $40 for the year. I would tell you to spend $40 for the year because you're saving money, but I will no longer recommend that in most instances simply because now there's new apps that are being dropped so frequently thanks to this this AI rush that's taking place. So now I might tell you to use an app today. You go and pay the yearly fee for it. 3 months from now, there's a better app out that's free. Now you threw money down the drain, right? So while I would recommend that you still pay for the premium versions of the app, do it month to month. So that way, if a new app comes out that's better or free, you can just cancel your subscription. All right. Would I recommend using a phone camera? Absolutely. I create a lot of content with my phone. If we're talking about all of these videos, these have all been made with my phone. None of these have been made with my actual camera. Okay. Some of the podcast style stuff you see me make, that's been made with my camera, and some other stuff that I've made has been made with my camera. But I do a lot of video editing and content creation with my phone. All you need is your phone. There's uses for the camera, and there are times where the camera will come in handy, and I would recommend using the camera. But for the most part, all you need is your phone. All right. Pro Fades, welcome. My guy, all great info. Glad to tune in. Appreciate you. Welcome to the course. And again, guys, make sure you're hanging out for this entire presentation because you're not going to be allowed to rewatch it. I'm not saving this to my page. I am saving it for course members. So if you're in my social media course, you will be able to rewatch this when I upload it. If you're not in my course and are interested in joining, stick around because at the end of the presentation, I'm going to make you guys an offer to sign up and hook you guys up. All right. So let's get into the next slide. Where's the next slide? Boom. So what I want to discuss with you guys before we get into some of the simplistic frameworks is the way you're approaching social media. Okay. And what I want to do is introduce you to a new way of using social media so that you guys can stop using social media in the old way, the outdated way, the way that no longer works. Okay. But before I introduce you to the new way, let me show you the old way. Now, if you take a look at this page, this is my page back when I was first trying to figure it out when it comes to the content creation, right? And as you can see, there's clean taper, nice sharp design, some skin fades. Your boy Marv gets busy with the clippers. Stop playing. This was a Los Cut It design that I reshared, so that wasn't me. That was Super Bowl. But you see, I got a bunch of nice pictures, the side profile shot of the haircut. All right. So this was the old way of doing social media. Posting nice haircuts, 142 hashtags, and make sure you don't forget to post to tag every repost page and influencer you could think of. All right. That was the old way to do it. Way back in the early 1800s. All right. We are in 2023 at the time of this recording. We are way beyond that. Social media has evolved way beyond that. But the problem is, us as barbers still haven't. And if you're tapped into this, let's be honest, there are a lot of you that are tapped into this whose pages look exactly like that. All right. And I ain't even mad at you because I get why your page looks like that. When you log into Instagram, you're not given a manual on how to use Instagram to grow a business, to market yourself, to get new customers, to create viral videos. There's no manual that's handed to you. So what do? You do what most barbers do. You look at what other barbers are doing and you say, all right, I'm just going to do what other barbers are doing. But the problem is we don't take into consideration that what most of these barbers are doing isn't working at all. But yet we try to duplicate their strategy and implement what they're doing into our strategy. And then we get frustrated when we don't get no results either. Right? So I ain't mad at you. You're not supposed to know how to do this stuff. You were never taught. You weren't taught this in barber school, were you? Nope. You weren't taught this when you started working in the shop, were you? You weren't taught how to use social media, were you? Nope. So where were you supposed to learn it? Right? Nobody taught us. So I get it. I've been where you are. As you can see, this is how my page used to look. So I know exactly why you do what you do. All right. Now, I want to discuss a little bit the new way that I want to put you on to tonight. All right. And what I want you to understand is that the old way of thinking when it came to social media was that social media was our portfolio. And some of you guys still probably think that, right? So when you create your page, you set it up like it's a portfolio, a lot of nice pictures of your work. That is no longer the case. If that was the case back in the 1800s, it's no longer the case in 2023. So social media is no longer your portfolio. Social media is the new TV. Let's be honest. How many times are you actually watching TV? And while you're watching TV, you're scrolling on your phone, watching your phone. Am I lying? Nope. BARBERS. Right? It's the new TV. We be watching it more than we watch TV. Okay? So knowing that, the first shift we need to make is from thinking that social media is our portfolio and to start understanding that social media is the new TV. Okay? Now, here's what you got to understand as well when it comes to content. There's been a shift in the way that we watch things. I don't know about you, but back in the day, I could watch a long movie. I could watch the Titanic. You know what I'm saying? Straight through. Watch the whole movie. Now, though, not so much, bro. It's challenging for me nowadays to hold my attention, right? When it comes to these long movies. But at the same time, what can I do? I'll binge watch a whole TV series. How many of you guys can relate? It's hard to get through a whole movie, but we'll watch a whole season of a Netflix series. Fly through it. Right? Watch 8 straight episodes, an hour long. But we can't watch a 3-hour movie. We'll fall asleep. Right? So what does that have to do with anything? Why am I explaining that to you? Because what you have to understand is that our attention spans are getting shorter, and we all value short form content. All right. So when you put into perspective that social media is the new TV, and you understand that people are a lot more likely to binge watch shorter content, what you then have to figure out is, okay, how can I create my own show for social media? Blurry says, on God, I watch hella shorts, but not watching those 20-minute videos, right? Talking that talk. That's why I put my Barber Brothers on you. I appreciate you, family. So if if you can see that social media is new TV, right? Think about it this way. If Instagram is like Netflix, you have to figure out what your show is going to be for Instagram, the same way you would have to figure out what type of show you'd want to create for Netflix, if that makes sense. All right? That's the first shift you need to make. Your page is not your portfolio. Your page is your own show, reality show, whatever you want to call it. It's your own show. When you guys are tuned into Marv's content, bro, you're tuned into a show. Think about it right now. What are you doing? You are tuned into the Marv show live on YouTube, right? So the same way you see Marv making his show through content, that's what we got to do for you. Is this making sense? So then the question is, all right, well, where do you start? Well, you start by, you create your own show by becoming either a thought leader or really entertaining. I hope you guys are taking notes because I'm giving y'all a lot of game right now. Barbers, let me know how you're feeling in the chat. Hit me with some emojis. Hit me with some gems if you feel like you're getting value. All right. You create your own show by becoming either a thought leader or really entertaining. And the best creators have a mixture of both. That's what I try to do. I try to be both. Why are you guys tuned into this live on YouTube right now? Because through my content, I position myself as a thought leader when it comes to social media and content creation, right? And I have the resume and credibility to back it up, right? And a lot of you guys are here because you feel like my content's entertaining. Make sense? So that's what we got to figure out for you. What are you going to do? We got to figure out how to make you either become a thought leader or really entertaining or a mixture of both. All right? And we got to figure out how to help you capitalize on just crushing your short form content. Because like Blended by Dave said, 45 minutes of shorts over a 20-minute tutorial. Facts. YouTube videos getting short too. I just made a JRL video. I don't know if you guys seen that on my channel about the Onyx. And I try to make it as short as possible. Short as possible. Because I know how I like to consume tutorials. Get to the point, right? Let's get to the point. You guys know we be skipping videos. So even with my YouTube, when it comes to this tutorial and how-to stuff, I am focusing on making it as short as possible and easy to digest as possible. And you got to be doing the same thing. All right? Facts. Heck yeah, I see the gems coming in. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Araceli, what up? What up, family? Because you position yourself as someone would say real, but you also got the entertainment side. Exactly. So that's what we got to do for you guys too. All right. So then the question is, all right, well, how do you stand out? How do you stand out in a world of creators where there's just so many of them, right? How do we do this? How do we stand out? And you do so by becoming a purple cow. All right. Now, most of you probably hearing this are like, Marv, what are you talking about, purple cow? If you haven't read the book, The Purple Cow by Seth Godin, read the book, The Purple Cow by Seth Godin. Okay. Phenomenal book. In fact, read everything by Seth Godin. He's one of the greats when it comes to marketing. Okay. But to give you the long story short version of The Purple Cow, think about it this way. Imagine if we were driving on a highway to go to one of our favorite destinations, right? Me and you are in the car. And imagine if we drove by a farm and there was a whole bunch of regular cows on that farm. What would the conversation look like? Probably be me driving, you over in the passenger seat. We look over. Oh, that's a cool farm. Oh, that's a lot of cows. And then what's going to happen? We just going to keep moving, keep going. Dead the conversation. Probably talk about something else, right? Who cares? But imagine if we were on that same road trip with me driving, you in the passenger seat, scrolling on your phone, and we looked over and we drove by that same farm, but instead of just having a whole bunch of regular cows, there was a whole bunch of regular cows, but then there was a purple cow amongst the regular cows. What does that conversation look like then? Yo, bro, you see that? Yo, is that a purple cow? Yo, that's a purple cow, Marv. Yo, wait, what? Hold up. What am I going to do? I'm probably going to pull over, park the car. What we going to do? Jump out the car, run over, take some selfies with it. Hey, look at this purple cow in the background. Y'all ain't never seen a purple cow, right? Taking pictures of it. It's going to be a whole ordeal. Am I lying? No, right? And then what we going to do? We're going to get in the car and guess what's going to happen? What are we going to talk about for the rest of the ride? That damn purple cow. I'm going to be showing you the videos I captured. I'm going to show you the pictures I captured. What are you going to show me? The pictures you took, the videos you took. We're going to be posting it to our social media. That's all we're going to talk about, right? And then when we arrive to our destination, we get to where we was headed. What are we going to talk about when we get there? Yo, you're not going to believe what we seen on the way here, fam. We seen a purple cow. Yeah, bro, check this out. Look at this video I got. Then when we get back in the shop, what we going to tell every single barber that we work with? What we going to tell every single customer that walks into the barbershop? What we going to tell all of our clients? Yo, you're not going to believe this past weekend. I for real saw a purple cow, bro. Yeah, look at this. It's going to be the topic of conversation for the foreseeable future. Am I right or am I right? So, what does this have to do with you? Well, what you have to figure out is how do you, in this social media world, become a purple cow amongst the whole crowd of regular cows. Yeah, I love Bradley said they're gonna say you was on something, right? That's what we got to figure out for you. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this type of page does not make you a purple cow. This makes you a whole regular cow, because this is what everybody's page look like, just like this, bro. And you know I'm not lying. So how are you supposed to stand out if your entire page looks just like this? Let me ask you, when it comes to Marvy Marv, can we agree that Marvy Marv be putting out content that stands out amongst all of the other content that y'all be seeing? Y'all see the way I'm doing them carousel swipe telling stories with videos and pictures and gifts things right now, right? You don't see no other barbers doing that. And that's how I've been able to build, because I create content that stands out, that's different. I ain't sitting here trying to do what everybody else is doing. And you shouldn't either. Does this make sense or does this make sense? Drop some gems in the chat if you're following me. All right. So again, you got to remember, we're creating content from the perspective of being a thought leader or being entertaining. All right. And we want to keep it short, simple, and easy to digest, because attention spans are short and people keep it moving. Right. So here's an example of a simple piece of content that I made. Now it says me acting like I'm cleaning my station, trying to avoid cutting that little kid that just walked in. And you hear all the crying in the background, right? Now, why does that content work the way it does? Simple, easy to digest, super relatable, right? And pretty entertaining. And look how it performed. Last I screenshotted this was a minute ago. It reached 153,000 accounts, had 163,000 plays, over 3,000 shares, 400 saves, 473 comments, 6,000 likes. You see that? Another piece of content I made. It says, when you catch one of the barbers trying to borrow, in parentheses quotes, your half clip, cool care or trimmers. Right? Y'all seen that? Let me play one more time. Right? Super relatable. Right? Easy to digest, short piece of content. And what else? Entertaining. It made y'all laugh, right? Now, when you look at the engagement on this, reached 188,000 accounts, got 204,000 plays, 6,000 likes, 120 comments, almost 7,500 shares, 600 saves. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Marv, you got a huge following. Of course, your stuff's going to get views like that. All right, well, let's look at some of these numbers. An account's reached. It reached 28,000 of my followers. Now, look at this. That's that light blue. The dark blue is non-followers. Guess how many it reached? 160,000 non-followers. 28,000 of my followers, 160,000 non-followers. So what does this mean for you? That means that even if you don't got a big following like me, you could still be putting up big numbers. Because even if we take away the 28,000 followers that seen this, it still leaves us with 160,000 people that don't follow me. Does this make sense? Again, both of these videos right here, entertaining, right? We also said that you want to position yourself as a thought leader in your content. So here's one of those. making income, you don't have to go every day, but maybe at least once a week, take your money, go to the bank, deposit it in your account. Even if you withdraw it right away, at that point where you have deposited the money, what you're doing is leaving a paper trail. Right? So that isn't so much entertaining, but it's informative, right? And it positions me as a thought leader. And look at how it performed. 159,000 views, 17,000 likes, 40 comments, 765 shares, 2,376 saves. People saving it to go back to it. Right? You guys know Cutflow Dre? He's in my interactive social media course. Here's him implement some of the strategies. He put what barbers that hate doing Edgar cuts fantasize about. Right? Super relatable, super entertaining. And the analytics I can see from his page, 48,000 likes. It got 1.2 million views, 700 comments, 13,000 shares. Right? Super relatable, super entertaining, right? Made us laugh. We like, yo, I feel you. All right? Here's somebody else who's in my course, the hair CEO. Now she's positioning herself as an authority and as a thought leader. Now, this piece of content got 10,000 likes, 78 comments, almost 5,000 shares, and it got 146,000 views. Okay? Why? Super informative, relatable, easy to digest. All of this stuff I'm sharing with you guys, right? And the cool part about it is she's got 15,000 followers, right? She's been building since she joined the course, but she's still down. I got 100,000, 300,000 on TikTok. She's got 15,000 and she's getting 146,000 views. Same thing with Dre. Dre's at like 37,000, I believe. He got 1.2 million. So I share these with you because what I want you to understand is that even if you don't have a huge following, you still can be putting numbers on the board. Does this make sense or does this make sense? Let me know if you guys are keeping up with me. Drop some gems in the chat. All right? And what I want you to understand is we all start somewhere. All right? When I first went to go on TikTok, I had a decent-sized following on Instagram. I thought I was the man. I went over to TikTok and I struggled for a little bit. I was trying to reshare some of the stuff I was doing on Instagram, on TikTok. Wasn't working. It was discouraging. It felt terrible. I'm like, dang, I'm the social media guy over here, and I'm over here struggling, getting 14 views. I got 13 followers, getting 4 likes, right? And I'll show you this video. I was visiting my grandmother, and I was about to hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. And I was at 999. And my grandma said, what is wrong with you? Right? So I was super hype because once you hit 1,000 followers on TikTok at that time, I'm not sure if it's the same. I believe it is. But once you hit 1,000 followers, you can go live. So I was hyped because I was going to be able to go live, right? So I show you this to remind you we all start somewhere. I was at 999 followers. Today, I just hit 339,000. And look at some of these numbers down here. When I logged in, 2,555 new followers, 1,500 comments, right? I was at 999 here. Now 339,000. All right? So I just want to remind you guys, man, I was there too. I didn't just start at 100,000 followers. No, I had to build it too. But the same way that I did it, you can do it. And hopefully you can do it easier, right? Because you're learning from people like me who are in this to give back to y'all. All right. So let's get into some of the frameworks, how to go viral. This is serious note-taking time. All right. First thing you got to keep in mind is you always got to use the new features whenever the platforms release them. Why? Because they're going to prioritize that content in the algorithm. Why? Because they want everybody to use the new features. So when platforms drop their new features, use them, because you will get pumped out in the algorithm just so other people can see you using the features. Does this make sense, or does this make sense? All right. So from this day forward, when platforms release new features, use them. When Instagram released stories, they was getting tons of reach. When Instagram released reels, tons of reach. When Instagram released live for the first time, tons of reach. Right. So when they release new features, use them to get the benefits of them pumping you into the algorithm to show everybody about the new features. All right. So here's the framework we're going to talk about. Here's the framework. Go viral. All right. The V stands for videos. Videos are key. We are in the short form content era. I stands for instantly grab attention. You want to hook them right away. R stands for relatable content, because relatable content is content that gets shared. A stands for always have a call to action. Tell people what you want them to do. L stands for leave context. People need to know what your video is about. All right. This is the viral framework. Okay. The videos are key. Think about what we're doing right now. We're watching video, right? Think about what you're doing most of the time you're on social media, watching videos, right? So if we're primarily consuming videos, because social media is the new TV, you want to make sure that you're creating them. All right. Now, the key is to grab people right away. All right. You instantly want to grab their attention. You want to hook them in right away. The first 2 to 3 seconds matter the most when it comes to your videos. And you want to do your best to arouse people's curiosity and evoke emotions. Okay? Now, think about it this way. If I were to send you an email, and in that email, I said, just give me your Cash App, I'll send you $1 million, right? But the headline of the email was a whack headline that didn't make you want to open it. It just said sale today or something. Yo, this is crazy. You got to see this. And you just was like, yeah, I ain't opening this. That email could be the best email you'd ever receive. You could get $1 million if you just open that email and give me your Cash App. But because the headline of the email didn't grab you right away, you never got an opportunity to see that email. It's the same thing when it comes to your content. If you're not grabbing people right away, it don't matter how amazing the rest of the video is. People are going to keep scrolling. Think about your natural behavior. When you're scrolling, you give it like 2 to 3 seconds before you're on to the next thing. Just watch yourself. You're like, we all are. So, yes, you want to do your best to make an amazing video, but you got to remember that you got to grab them in the first 2 to 3 seconds. Because if you don't, they're not going to get an opportunity to stick around and see how amazing your video actually is. All right. And here's a little strategy that I use on TikTok to grab people right away. Let me play the video. I'll play some of it. This is why people hate going to barbershops, right? This is why people hate going to barbershops. What does it do? It arouses people's curiosity. Wait, what do you mean? People hate. Why? I got to see this. Why do they hate going to barbershops? What else does it do? It evokes emotions. This is why people hate going to barbershops. Not why this is people don't like going to barbershops. This is why people hate going to barbershops. It evokes emotions. So I grab them in the first 2 to 3 seconds. Now they're sticking around to see what else happens. All right. The R in the viral framework is for relatable content. Relatable content is content that gets shared. You want to create content that's related to your niche or is relatable to a big group of people, right? Create content that's widely relatable. And you can't be afraid to be entertaining or cringy when it comes to your content, guys. You can't be. Because People can sit there and go, oh, that's cringe. I would never do that. But guess what? They're watching it. They're sharing it. They're engaging on it, right? So you can't be afraid to be cringy. You know how many times I've been told I'm cringy? Great. That's a sign I'm on the right path. All right. But all in all, you want to create content that's relatable. A lot of the content I've been showing you guys has been relatable, right? And I think we can agree this piece is relatable too. It says when you're on a lunch break and the client decides to show up 20 minutes early for their appointment. You see the way he looked? Tell me you don't relate with that. Tell me you don't relate with that. You on lunch eating, they show up. It's like, bro, wait, what? Super relatable. Easy to make, easy to digest, quick and to the point. Let's look at some of the numbers. 254,000 plays, right? Reached 227,000 accounts. And here's the great part. Only 36,000 of those accounts were followers. The other remaining 191,000 were non-followers. So what does this mean? That means that even if we take away that 36,000, we still got a whole lot of people that's seen this. So what does that mean for you? Even without a big following, you still could put these type of numbers on the board. 5,000 likes, 185 comments, 6,000 shares, 700 saves. Make sense? Let me know if you guys are following me. You feel like this is helpful? Drop some gems in the chat. I need to make sure y'all are still paying attention. I see we got 71 of y'all in here. I love this. I love that you guys are learning. All right. So here's another piece of relatable content. I'll show you real quick. It says, me in the shower thinking about the haircut I did earlier that I wasn't satisfied with. How many of y'all been there? Let me play it again. How many of y'all been there? Stressing. Right? Super relatable. Makes you laugh. Right? Let's look at the numbers. 246,000 plays. Reached 233,000 accounts. Again, only 38,000 followers. 194,000 non-followers. People that don't follow it's Marby Mar. 7,500 shares. Again, you could put these type of numbers up too, because this is being showed to a lot of non-followers. So it doesn't matter your following size. We are at such an amazing time where the algorithm has leveled the playing field. What does that mean? Well, back in the day, if I had a lot more followers than you, then my content could reach a lot more people than you. Nowadays, we all have access to the same big group of people. If you could put out content that grabs people right away, that hooks them, that's relatable, that's interesting to them, that adds value to them, guess what? The platform is going to share that content, spread it around. You're going to go viral regardless of your following size. Barbers. Now, one other thing I also want to point out, when you look at all of these videos, right? All of these videos I've showed you so far, right? All of these are, except for that one, this made on my phone, this made on my phone, this made with my camera, this made on his phone, this made on her phone, this made on a phone. All of these made on a phone, made on a phone, made on a phone, made on a phone. And even this one, made on a phone. Okay, so when you guys think you need this super expensive camera, you don't necessarily need it. Because as you can see, we going viral with simply using our phones. All right. The A in the viral framework is always have a call to action. Tell people what to do. And the reason you want to do this is because you want to either encourage engagement, right? Like I did in this situation right here. I said, Barbers, how would you handle this situation? I'm asking for an opinion, right? Or you want to point people somewhere else, either to your link in bio or to DM you, right? You have to figure out what's the goal of the post. Do you want to get likes? Do you want to get comments? Do you want to get shares? Do you want to direct people to the link in your bio? Do you want people to engage? What do you want to do? And then you have to provide a call to action. My goal for this post was to see how barbers would handle this situation. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this one, but this dude, he had some sort of issue. So he was freaking out because he was getting jacked up in a barber school and he was bugging out. So I just simply said, Barbers, how would you handle the situation? Because I wanted barbers to comment to explain how they would handle it. So hopefully we have barbers that are looking to know how to deal with the situation, read through the comments and be able to handle this situation. If the situation ever were to arise, they'd feel comfortable doing so, right? So let me play the video real quick. So as you can see, he's snapping. He tight. He was in a barber school. But the talk was he has something, he a little off. And I don't know if you can see it. I can see it. He a little off. But this is a situation that could happen, right? We can have this happen in a barbershop. So I felt like I can use this as a post to start a conversation and get some feedback and opinions on how barbers would handle this particular situation. And the numbers went crazy, right? Over 600,000 plays, 19,000 likes, right? 1,100 comments, 1,100 comments from barbers, almost 8,000 shares, 1,600 saves. And again, reached 573,000 accounts, but only 31,000 of them. That light blue is followers. That dark blue, the remaining 541,000, non-followers. So I repeatedly show you this because I want you to believe that even if you don't have a large following, you could put these type of numbers on the board. My following size doesn't matter here. You remove those 31,000 followers, it's still reaching 541,000 accounts. You could be doing the same thing. Does this make sense? Barbers, let me know. Drop some gems in the chat if you're keeping up. All right. And then lastly in the framework is the L for leave context. People need to know what your video is about. Context on the video, context in the caption, context on the covers. Adding context makes it easy for people to binge watch. So if you look at here, what do I mean by context? These words explain what the videos are about, right? This is why people hate going to barbershops. Makes people know what the video is about. Here's an easy way to track your income expenses. Makes people know what the video is about. Over here, being a shop owner changes things. What does he mean by that? Generates curiosity. Why do we always pocket watch the shop owner? What's he talking about? Barbers, what's your thoughts on this? Let me see what he's talking about, right? All of these add context to the videos, which leads people down the hole of binge watching. Because if a video pops up in their feed and they like it and they go to my page, now they can see all of these videos and decide which ones they want to watch. When you think about your page, are they able to do that same thing? In most instances, probably not. So what happens if you do have a viral video? You have a viral video, now people land on your page and they see a whole bunch of haircuts or a whole bunch of just the covers are not good. They don't know what they want to click on. So what happens? One of two things. They either take a risk and click on something. Hopefully they enjoy it so they stick around. But if they don't enjoy it, then they're out. Or the other option is they don't want to feel like they're wasting their time, so they don't even bother clicking and they just dip. At least when you add context to your content, they know what it's about and they can decide if they feel like it's going to be worth their time. So start adding context to your content. You feel like this information helps? Chase said, knowledge is power. That's a fact, Chase. What up, homie? So that is the framework. All right, real quick little hack too. Here's how you can find trending audios and cool content ideas. Because a lot of you guys are like, well, Marv, I want to use audios and stuff. How do I find them? If you have your account set up as a creator, you click your professional dashboard, you scroll down to where it says Reels Trends, and they will have Reels Trends pop up. And you can select one of those. That helps. All right. Another way to do it, when you see a video and you hear a sound that you like, on the bottom of the video, you can click it. And what will happen is it will bring up all the videos who use that sound. And then if you want to use that sound, you just click Use Audio. Okay. Another way you can come up with cool content ideas is on TikTok. If you have CapCut installed and you have TikTok, if there's templates that pop up that can be recreated in CapCut, this little thing right here will pop up and say, try this template in CapCut, right? So if you guys remember when I used him for the video of explaining where the barber is borrowing your stuff, I got the idea because this popped up in my feed. It said Joe Biden at the White House, and it was trolling Joe Biden, basically saying, well, what are you doing? And he's just like, I'm just hanging around, right? It was funny. It was a troll. So I said, okay, how can I add this to my content strategy and make it relatable to the barbers. So that's when I came up with the idea of when barbers try to borrow your stuff and then they look at you like you're crazy, right? And it was easy for me to recreate this content because all I did was click, try this template in CapCut. All right. Do you feel like that's helpful? Barbers. So what I want you guys to understand, so many of you guys are overthinking content, and content is everywhere and everything. Your whole life is content. Everything you do is content. All right? Everything. It's everywhere. Content is everything. And what's cool about content is that, at least on these social media platforms, there's feedback to let us know if the content works or not. So if I see a piece of content that says try this template, and this piece of content got 200,000 likes, 13,000 saves, 122,000 shares, people like this idea. Okay, cool. How can I recreate it in my own way? Right? And that's when I recreate it in my own way. So content ideas are everywhere if you look for them. All you got to do is reference what's already working and add your own flair to it. Does this make sense, or does this make sense? Barbers.